Good evening. As chairperson of the Hartford Board of Education, I hereby call to order the July 15th, 2025 regular meeting. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present and to our television viewers. The board, superintendent, and I are pleased that you have joined us as we celebrate achievement, review information, and make policy decisions related to the effective operation of Hartford Public Schools. This is a regular meeting, and all items that will be discussed or voted on this evening have been posted as required by law. As the Hartford Board of Education, we are here to set goals, listen to the reports of the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, and personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. We are not here to make management decisions or solve the problems of individuals. Management is the responsibility of the superintendent. The monthly meetings of the board are open to the public. They are a time when the board conducts its business of governing the school system in a public arena. The regular meetings are not meetings with the public. Therefore, comments from the audience will be confined to the time designated for the public to address the board. Decorum and courtesy are important elements in effective public meetings. Please silence your cell phones or communication devices and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Since it is legally mandated that proceedings be accurately recorded, I may ask for order periodically should noise begin to interfere with our recording capabilities. I am pleased that you have taken time to join us this evening. We are very proud of the school system and thank you for your interest in Hartford Public Schools. This will now be read in Spanish.
Buenas noches. El presidente de la Junta de Educación de Hartford ha llamado a orden esta reunión ordinaria de la Junta del 15 de julio 2025. Damos una cálida bienvenida a todas las personas presentes y a nuestros televidentes. La Junta y la Superintendente se complacen que se han unido a nosotros para celebrar logros, revisar información y tomar decisiones relacionadas con el funcionamiento efectivo de las escuelas públicas de Hartford. Esta es una reunión ordinaria y todos los asuntos que serán discutidos o votados en esta tarde han sido notificados como lo requiere la ley estatal. Como Junta de Educación de Hartford, estamos aquí para establecer metas, escuchar los informes de la superintendente, aprobar los presupuestos, contratos y nombramientos de personal y establecer normas para el distrito. No estamos aquí para tomar decisiones administrativas o resolver problemas individuales. La administración es la responsabilidad de la superintendente. Las reuniones mensuales de la Junta están abiertas al público. Son el momento en que la Junta lleva a cabo su tarea de gobernar el sistema escolar en un espacio público. Las reuniones regulares no son reuniones con el público. Por lo tanto, los comentarios de la audiencia se limitarán al tiempo designado para el público dirigirse a la Junta. El decoro y la cortesía son elementos importantes en reuniones públicas eficaces. Por favor, silencia sus teléfonos celulares o dispositivos de comunicación y absténganse de hablar mientras otros están hablando. Ya que es mandato legal de que los procedimientos sean grabados con precisión, es posible que tengamos que pedir orden periódicamente si el ruido interfiere con nuestras capacidades de grabación. Nos complace que se haya tomado el tiempo esta tarde para unirse a nosotros. Estamos muy orgullosos de este sistema escolar y les damos gracias por su interés en las escuelas públicas de Hartford.
Thank you. We will now move on to public comment. Mr. Mills?
Hello, everybody. We, as a board, in collaboration with the superintendent and district leadership, are committed to cultivating a culture of excellence at all levels of the Hartford Public Schools. We thank you for taking the time to attend tonight's board meeting. We appreciate you coming out to learn more about Hartford Public Schools and for sharing your thoughts and concerns. We have established a protocol to track and respond to concerns raised. We want you to know that we take your concerns seriously, and to that end, staff will follow up within 48 hours if follow-up is required via the preferred method of contact the speaker has indicated on the signed-in sheet. As a reminder, you have 3 minutes to speak. At the second minute, the bell will ring, letting you know that you have 1 minute left. At the second bell, please wrap up your comments. Now, Christina will read this in Spanish.
Nosotros, la Junta de Educación, en colaboración con la superintendente y personal del distrito, estamos comprometidos a cultivar una cultura de excelencia en todos los niveles de las escuelas públicas de Hartford. Les agradecemos se haya tomado el tiempo para asistir a la reunión de la Junta esta noche. Les agradecemos su participación y su deseo de aprender más sobre las escuelas públicas de Hartford y también para compartir sus pensamientos y preocupaciones. Nosotros tomamos sus preocupaciones muy seriamente y hemos establecido un protocolo para el seguimiento y respuesta a inquietudes planteadas. El personal hará un seguimiento dentro de las 48 horas, si fuera necesario, a través del método de contacto preferido que el orador haya indicado en la hoja de registro. Esa persona investigará su caso y se comunicará con usted dentro de las 48 horas. Les recordamos que tienen 3 minutos para hablar. Cuando han pasado 2 minutos, el timbre sonará, dejándole saber que le queda 1 minuto. Al segundo sonido, por favor, termine sus comentarios. And our first speaker is Carol Gale.
Now, there we go. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Carol Gale. I'm the president of the Hartford Federation of Teachers. Last month, I outlined the various systems within Hartford Public Schools that are broken. Tonight, I list potential solutions to those, all with the goal of retaining staff and providing stability for students in their educational experience here in Hartford. The board must take a more active role in directing the district to address these concerns. Some of these solutions will require negotiation with various unions. Also, like last month, I will share 3 minutes worth of these ideas and leave you with a fuller list in hard copy. Number 1, relationship with unions. Though I did not enumerate that last month, it is an overarching concern. You have appointed a new superintendent who has not yet reached out to HFT nor any other union. I ask that you please direct him to do so. Number 2, special education. Set clear guidance and/or caseload caps. Open more self-contained classrooms to provide the smaller class size environment many of our students need. Provide clerical support. Number 3, disciplinary systems for both students and staff. Continue the work of the Code of Conduct Committee. Shift the paradigm and overhaul the disciplinary process for staff to be in line with restorative practices. Number 4, grading. Eliminate the minimum 50 grading policy and reestablish the grading committee. Number 5, grievances. Resolve issues at the lowest level, establish minimum responsiveness timeframes, and ensure that Step 2 hearings take place in a timely manner. Number 6, the transfer process. Work with unions proactively when confronted with reductions in force, and eliminate staffing decisions based on favoritism or nepotism at all levels. Number 7, refusal of the district to initiate bargaining for all changes in workload. Work proactively with pertinent unions to negotiate agreements regarding workload changes and respond to demands to bargain in a timely manner. Number 8 was lack of exit interviews. Conduct exit interviews and identify areas for improvement. Number 9 was lack of art and music offered to students. Make a commitment to providing every Hartford student with regular art and music classes by a certified teacher. Number 10 was lack of support for unified arts. Separate the unified arts, which is the art, music, dance, drama, from wellness, which is PE and health. Number 11 was lack of communication regarding principals versus program directors versus the district. Create a clear chain of command so that staff know to whom they report, and have greater transparency of directives given to principals to pass on to staff to help avoid the telephone effect where you lose the meaning of the message as it gets forwarded. Number 12, contracting out of bargaining unit work. Do not contract out bargaining unit work without first negotiating with the pertinent union, as this is a mandatory subject of bargaining. Number 13 was culture and climate. Take action in the schools HFT has repeatedly raised with culture and climate concerns, and shift the paradigm from the one where management must always be right to management must always seek continuous improvement. HFT is ready and willing to roll up our sleeves and work with the district on all of these solutions. And I will leave with Christina the fuller list. Thank you.
Our second and final speaker, Myra Ali. That concludes public comment.
Thank you. So Carol, thank you for coming out and giving us your comments tonight. We always appreciate them. We appreciate that you came out. All right, so thank you so much. And now we're going to move on to the report of the chair. With summer upon us and the superintendent search process and contract negotiations taking up much of our time in June and July, my report will also be quite short this evening. The only thing I have tonight is an update on the superintendent search process. So Dr. Andre Townsell will tentatively, we believe that this is the date, will be joining us as the next superintendent of Hartford's public schools on Monday, August 4th. We look forward to welcoming him to Hartford and to our incredible school community. We are working through his onboarding, meet and greets, and town hall schedules. Please note that there are a large number of individuals and groups who he will be meeting with over the next several months. Hartford Schools has a large number of incredible people who work behind the scenes to support our students, and we want to highlight each and every person and group. So we will do our best to ensure he makes these connections as soon as possible. And he's just one person, so these meetings will not happen overnight, but they will certainly happen. We look forward to everyone having a chance to meet and welcome Dr. Townsell. And again, I want to thank everyone who played a role in the search for the superintendent. If you filled out a survey, participated in a focus group, or reached out to a board member, you were part of the process, and we thank you for your input. I also want to reiterate my thanks to the board members. Your work on this process was valued and important, and we couldn't have gotten to where we are today without everyone's participation in the process. I am honored to have been part of the process with you. As a reminder, you can find the superintendent's report, full committee reports, student reports, all attachments and videos in the meeting's agenda on Board Docs. All committee and workshop meetings are live streamed as well as viewable after the meeting. The YouTube links are saved in each meeting's agenda on Board Docs. I highly encourage the community to view the meetings and read the reports when possible. If you have any questions or feedback, please contact Christina Santiago, our board liaison, at csantiago@hartfordschools.org. And I believe the only meeting that we had last month was the committee of the whole meeting. So there was only one meeting between last month and this month for you to watch. With that, we will now move on to the report of the Deputy Superintendent. Dr. Ratley, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Board Chair. Good evening. First, I want to commend the students and families of more than 1,000 students who earned their diploma during the June graduations. This also includes graduates of our adult education program, which also celebrated 15 participants in its inaugural Certified Nursing Assistance Program. Congratulations to all graduates and program participants. Approximately 40 staff members from schools and central office participated in a series of planning meetings to continue work on our district strategic plan, taking steps to operationalize the priorities in the plan set forth by our entire community and adopted by this board. An official update and communication plan will be scheduled in the upcoming weeks. While we know this is time for summer vacation, we also welcome students, staff, and partners in several summer programs And our Capital Preparatory staff and students began in full swing on Monday, July 7th, for their first day of school. Finally, save the date for our annual Back to School celebration slated for August 19th. Again, that's August 19th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Duncan Park, where there will be backpack giveaways and school supplies for students, activities for all children, and information for families. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ratley. All right, we will now move on to the business agenda. Item number 4.1, contract approval, Relay Graduate School of Education. Motion that the Hartford Board of Education authorize the superintendent to execute a contract with Relay Graduate School of Education for the term outlined in the contract at an amount not to exceed $123,251, ending June 30th, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Dr. Ratley, back to you.
Just a reminder that this Relay Graduate School of Education program is a Connecticut State Department of Education approved alternate route for certification specifically for high needs areas, including science, math, elementary, and English language arts. This allocation of funding would allow us up to 14 program participants as a component of our recruitment efforts. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Ratley. Any questions or discussion from our board members? Mr. Mills?
Yeah, typically I don't like doing this, but it's more of a statement, and I really wish, but I think I just want to make sure, actually it's a request, it's not a statement. Can you please, going forward and in the future, whomever you contact in the state, can you bother them some more about lowering that GPA? I recognize that it is not a Relay program issue, it is not a school system issue, it's a state issue, but recognizing the importance of bringing it down so that we aren't accidentally like disqualifying candidates who are in the school already doing really good work, I think that would really help the system and really help with sort of the teacher shortage. So if it's not really a statement, but if you can continue doing that, I know we're going to keep working on that on our end about when we meet with our legislators, but I think that's sort of the real request that I have there. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Mills. Yep, Ms. Fortune.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here. Just for the general public, could you share some of the information you shared with us during the committee of the whole, specifically about the number of participants in the pipeline, the retention numbers of people who've gone through the program and have stayed with Hartford schools, just so we understand what the services that's really being offered and who's affected by it? Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Hi, Natalie Javier. Thank you. So some of the background information that I shared in the committee of the whole, this partnership has gone on successfully for 9 years. We started the partnership in 2016, and we've had 48 staff enroll in the program since its launch. 34 have successfully completed and graduated, and 83% of those graduates are educators of color. 22 still teaching here in Hartford Public Schools, and 73% of those retained teachers are teachers of color. Last year's cohort, 100% of the participants successfully transitioned to rostered teachers. In terms of for this coming school year, we have 5 staff currently enrolled and progressing into year 2 of the program, and we are anticipating up to 9 new participants. 6 of those being participants are educators of color. And then nationally, 70% of Relay students nationwide are teachers of color, and they report a 95 satisfaction rate with the program and the professors. And Relay as a whole has a strong history of retention. 91% of Relay alumni nationally remain in education after the 3 years. So it's really good for an alternative route program. Is there any other information that you'd like me to share?
I think Ms. Brody has a question, and I meant to acknowledge our board members that were online. I believe it's Ms. Brody and Ms. Estrada Perez. So my apologies for not acknowledging you sooner. But Ms. Brody, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to ground and mention that I understand. First, I want to make a request. Teachers of color, do we have like categories that the board could be made aware of? Just instead of saying of color, like how many Black, how many Latino, like for that to be provided to us, that would be great for me.
Okay.
Second, I just wanted to say that I know this is a priority. I get that. But when we have to, when we make cuts, and we make cuts to like student programming, and because some of these funds are coming out of our general budget. So we're making cuts to direct services to students for this program that is wonderful, that eventually supports students. I think we have to be careful in that, because the first thing I'm imagining is the amount that's coming out of the general budget. How many more, like, could we have served one more student in a program? Not a program, because educating our students, like when we talk about the Hope Academy, we say a program, but that's our teachers teaching our kids. How many more Academy students could we have possibly served? So I just wanted to make note of that.
I understand your concern. I just wanted to give you the breakdown in terms of dollar amounts for general budget, and then special budget was for Alliance grant funds. The majority of the budget will be coming out of Alliance funds. It's 86,736. And the remaining will be from general budget, 36,515, and that's maximum amount if everybody enrolled in the program successfully enrolls and is admitted into the program. And there are some participants right now who are in the final stages of the application process with Relay. I wanted to give you that information. And we really prioritize here in OTM making sure that we have a diverse teacher staff for students. It's one of our #1 priorities, and so I understand your concern. This is also a really important concern for the students to have a person in the building and in front of them that represents them and where they come from. And most of the people that are part of the Relay program are current paras that live and work in our community, and so that's really important to us. But thank you. Oh, and I also have the data for the breakdown if you'd like to be specific about Black, Hispanic, and Asian, and most of the participants are Black or Hispanic. We have one Asian participant trying to enroll for next year, but I can give you the breakdown if you'd like that data. I do have it.
Thank you.
Ms. Brody, did you have a follow-up question?
No.
Okay.
Not a follow-up question, maybe a follow-up comment.
Okay, go for it.
No, I'm sorry, it was a question. I'll hold the comment. The question, how much pays Relay for their services? Is it a charge?
How much do we pay Relay, or I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I want to make sure I understood what you asked.
Yeah, is there any overhead in regards to this training and programming?
No, the partnership itself is free. We're just requesting scholarship dollars to support our current internal staff to be promoted and to be able to achieve teacher certification, which is something that they've reached out to us and said that they desire. One of the major barriers for our non-certified staff to become certified staff is financial, and so this is just one of the ways that we would like to support them. There's no cost for the program for us. This is strictly to provide scholarships for our staff to become certified.
Okay, thank you. Madam Chair, I'll hold my comment.
Thanks, Ms. Brody. Any other questions or comments? Seeing no hands raised, thank you both so much for your presentation today. The motion on the floor is that the Hartford Board of Education authorize the superintendent to execute a contract with Relay Graduate School of Education for the term outlined in the contract at an amount not to exceed $123,251 ending June 30th, 2026. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Nays? Abstentions? All right, the ayes have it. The motion moves. Item 4.2, acceptance of funds and contract approval. The Village Chef Inter-District Magnet Summer Enrichment Grant. Motion that the Hartford Board of Education authorize the superintendent to accept funds from the Chef Inter-District Magnet Summer Enrichment Grant in the amount of $79,999. Furthermore, the Hartford Board of Education authorizes the superintendent to execute a contract with the Village for Family and Children for the term outlined in the contract ending August 30th, 2025 at an amount not to exceed $79,999. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Dr. Ratley, the floor is yours.
Yes, this grant funding will support summer programming that's actually taking place right now for our middle school students, grades 6, 7, and 8. There are 3 CBOs, as mentioned, community-based organizations, as mentioned, that will be supporting enrichment opportunities component of this program. We have a staff member, Ms. Hooker, who's come forward to share some highlights from the committee meeting.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. As Dr. Ratley mentioned, this is a grant that we receive to provide a middle school program, which as a district we really didn't have funding to be able to have a program in place for our middle school students. At our board meeting where we brought up the idea of applying for this grant, there was a highlight to ensure that this was something that was able to provide support not only to our magnet students, but also to our neighborhood students. So this is a program that is open to both magnet and neighborhood students, and we have a partnership with 3 community-based organizations to be able to ensure that our students have not only in-school enrichment opportunities, but exposure to outdoor opportunities for them to explore as well during the 4 weeks of programming. The contracts are specific in lower amount. This particular one is coming to you because we do have different contracts with the Village, which put them over that threshold, the threshold of the $50,000 that we need to come to the board, which is why we're here today.
Thank you, Ms. Hooker. Any questions from board members? Mr. Mills?
Just want to clarify that in the report it mentioned that this is for classical magnet school, but that's only because this amount that you're asking for is specific to this one. That's not the only school in this larger program, correct?
Correct. So Classical Magnet School is the site that is hosting our middle school program, but it's open to our middle schools. That is bringing in 135 students from a variety of magnet and neighborhood schools to that particular location.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Ms. Brody?
Yes. My question, is this the amount of funding that we had to apply for?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is that the only amount, the only school site or program that we actually applied for? Because if you look at the breakdown of this funding and how many other operators, the millions that they got, and this amount we got, so I'm hoping this wasn't for a lack of us applying. Whenever there's money and there's grants, we should be applying for everything. Every school, every magnet school should have been applying. This is a very well appreciated. It'll surface some students. I don't know, in comparison, the breakdown that I receive, this is like pennies to the total amount of funding available for under this particular grant as a whole. So I'm hoping that we're just really taking the opportunity, every opportunity to apply to everything that's out there, because this was a lot of money, and this is not a big portion of that was available.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct. So the way that we think through so that we would be competitive around this process was bringing together our schools and connecting directly with our principal from Classical Magnet to be able to have this principal help us lead the application process, but really ensuring that all of our middle school programs were kind of a part of the process, and then really looking at community-based organizations that help us put together a competitive program to be a part of the process. The contract is a subset of the funding that was received, because the funding is paying for our teachers, it's paying for all of the different things that are happening for the 4 weeks. This is specific to the CBO component of that particular program for them to offer their enrichment piece. But you're correct. We are looking to ensure that we apply to any and all opportunities that is available to us here at the district so that we can have opportunities and exposure for our students, not only during the summer, but during the school year.
Thanks, Ms. Hooker. Ms. Brody, did you have any further questions?
Only other comment I think I would have is that when we need to, and maybe we do, because when I'm saying we need to, we probably do it, but this is just my opinion, which may not be factual, right? There are so many providers that are even smaller, I mean, they're all in our communities. I hope that we are engaging them and bringing them into what we do. They play a vital role in our communities, and I'm just hoping that the smaller guys get a chance when these opportunities come forward, because they're plentiful within our Hartford community, and I'm just hoping that we start seeing more of them partnering with us and getting paid for partnering with us, not a lot of the volunteer work that they do day in and day out. So this is not saying we don't do it, but just just highlighting that they're out there and they're looking for these opportunities to not just volunteer and give to the community something that they could grow from some opportunities. That's it, Madam Chair.
Thanks, Ms. Brody. Any other questions or comments? Nope. All right, seeing none. Thank you, Ms. Hooker, for your presentation. The motion on the floor is that the Hartford Board of Education authorize the superintendent to accept funds from the Chef Interdistrict Magnet Summer Enrichment Grant in the amount of $79,999. Furthermore, the Hartford Board of Education authorizes the superintendent to execute a contract with the Village for Family and Children's for the term outlined in the contract, ending August 30th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $79,999. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Abstentions? All right, the ayes have it. The motion moves. Item 4.3, second reading, Policy 9012, Powers, Purposes, and Duties. Motion that the Hartford Board of Education adopt Policy 9021, Powers, Purposes, and Duties. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Fortune, do you have anything to say on this one from the Policy Committee?
Sure. Briefly, so about 3 years ago, I believe in 2022, this policy was changed such that the Board of Education is only approving cabinet level positions through the superintendent. Previously, it included school principals as well, and the principals were removed in 2022. So this would reverse the change that happened in 2022, such that the board will approve cabinet level positions and school principals when the superintendent chooses to bring in a new person at those at those levels.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from board members? No? Mr. Tatum?
I'll just say briefly that I'm in support of this revision, going back to the board having a role in the appointment of principals. Not so much because I feel like the board needs to have a check on the superintendent's authority to make a recommendation, but more so because of the relationship context that it creates between principals and the board and the public as well. When principal appointments are something that happens regularly at board meetings in the public eye like this, it raises awareness and sort of, I believe, elevates the position of the principal by bringing it to the public and bringing it before the board. It offers a chance for board members to, in a formal way, get to know the new principals and new buildings and just be more aware of leadership in the district, which I think overall is a good thing.
Thanks, Mr. Tatum. Any other discussion? Okay. I will just say that I rarely disagree with anyone, but I will just say that I'm actually not in favor of this only because I feel like I don't necessarily think that I personally would be someone who could come back and say a principal should or should not be a principal after all the work that has gone into it. But I will say that I hope that if this does pass, that we can kind of as a board work together on a procedure to do it in a way that which we're not really so much interviewing said folks in a public setting, but that we find a way to really kind of get to what we're trying to get to, which is really the connection to the schools, the connection to the principals. So that's just me stating kind of my opinion on that. So, oh, Ms. Brody.
Thank you. I kind of believe in the opposite. I think I've always stated over many years that principals are like the most important positions in the school system. They create, they can foster a positive environment. They could be the driver of that in their school. They get teachers to buy in. They provide role modeling for kids. Like they are it when we talk about our employees. The board should never be like disconnected from that. If you go back and look at some of our past board meetings, it has always been a standard practice. I feel the questions have always been appropriate but necessary. We have SGCs that have over the years actually complained that they were the candidate that they wanted didn't necessarily line up with who the superintendent wanted. So it gave us an opportunity to engage those people. It helps us not be around town talking to folks and don't know who the principal of the school is. That's something that we should not be disconnected from. It is the same as if we haven't done it here, but any of principals and up to cabinet level positions, yes, they are publicly asked questions. But I think the board has never been inappropriate in their questioning. So I am definitely in support of this. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Brody. Any other discussions, questions, comments? No? All right, seeing none. The motion on the floor is that the Hartford Board of Education motion adopt policy 9012, powers, purposes, and duties. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nays? Nay. Abstentions? All right, the ayes have it, the motion moves. Moving on to the consent agenda. Contracts in the consent agenda were all discussed at the committee of the whole meeting. The items are 5.2, contract amendment approvals, community schools contract. These community schools contracts were approved by the board on May 20th, and we are now amending the contracts to include additional funding that we received from the city of Hartford. 5.3, approval of authorized signatory for Hartford Public Schools. We will be adding Deputy Superintendent Ratley and Chief Operating Officer Colon as authorized signatories in the absence of the superintendent. 5.4, approval, Board of Education meeting schedule for the 2025-2026 school year. And 5.5, approval of minutes from the June 18th, 2025 meeting. Any comments or questions on the consent agenda? Nope. All right, seeing none, do I have a motion to vote on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Nays? Abstentions?
Nay.
Oh, nay. All right. Thank you. Abstentions? The ayes have it. And that is the July 15th Board of Education meeting, which is now adjourned. Thank you for joining us.